in your side. I'm from Singapore.
From where?
I'm from Singapore and it's like midnight here.
Hey, awesome. That's so cool. We have somebody from other parts, other side of the world. Yeah, and I know it's really means a lot when you guys join from like, different time zone, because I know it's a Saturday. You're sacrificing your Saturday evening.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not. And it's Saturday. I don't think that's supposed to be a work day for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Well, for Tim, it's every day is a work day, right, Tim? And for me too, actually, yeah. But
Ramon, thanks for joining. Everybody's on mute. You can unmute yourself. Yeah, for me, it's I as web developer, and I have 4 kids, so some of you guys can kind of agree with this, but like the quietest times, that's why they call me the overnight coder, because the quietest times at my house are like 10 o'clock and on. So sometimes I find myself like coding at 2, 4 a.m. But now there's a trick to this, and don't tell everybody my secret. Oh, we're recording. But my secret is I take naps during the day. So it's common. People will call me at like 2 to 4 p.m. and I'll be taking a nap. So that way I can help clients out around the world. That's my secret.
okay, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Your name, Overnight Coder. By the way, I dropped the links to your both of the YouTube channels. If you guys haven't already checked out the YouTube video, Tim has a YouTube video, and of course, our official ListingPro channel. Yeah, Tim's going to talk about that later. But
okay.
Yeah, today we're here for questions and answers. Mario, Ramon, welcome to the group. We'll talk a little bit about all the questions today. Our focus is you guys. So anything that we can do to help you guys out. We've even if we have time, which it looks like we'll have plenty of time today. Even if you want to share some of your links, we can kind of go over them and give you some tips, tricks, things of that nature. So it's all customized questions and answers that you guys provide.
So Tim, I started calling this. Sorry. I was just gonna say, I want to call this customer success live Q&A. Maybe, that will help to sort of put things in perspective what this session is for. So this is all about helping customers succeed.
Awesome. I have to mute YouTube. What? January, what does it say? Year 21, 22. Perfect. So let's get started with a few introductions. We've got Jovena from Singapore. Jovena, are you already a ListingPro customer, or are you looking to get the theme? Do you have a site developed? Let us know a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm just researching on the best like listing or directory theme. I'm really just starting out, and I guess I first came across ListingPro, and I was just browsing all the features, and of course I have some questions. That's why I dialed in. But maybe let's go around the room so that the others have a chance to talk as well.
That's awesome. So just to give you a little bit of feedback, I tried. So my name is Overnight Coder. My name is Tim, and I am not affiliated with ListingPro. Sam is. So you got to watch what Sam says, because he's the number 2 guy over there. But listen, with me, I'm just kidding. Sam's great. But with me, I'm not affiliated with ListingPro, and I tried 5 or 6 themes that were paid. I spent around $300 on paid themes, and I found out ListingPro had the best features out of the box and worked better than all the other themes I tried. Now, fast forward 2 years later, I've tried over 70 themes. I've built over 70 ListingPro designs, and within those 70 ListingPro designs, I've actually tested a bunch of others, because Brilliant Directories, I never really bought that, but somebody had that and they wanted to move to ListingPro, so I got the experience on their side a little bit. I'll tell you, out of the box, I was really happy with ListingPro features. But we'll get into all your questions, I'm sure. Millie, Ramon, did you guys want to introduce yourself? Keep in mind, you guys are on mute. You can always unmute, explain in chat or anything here. I'll take that as we're just going to listen.
Tim, I just want to add something really quick, guys. So this is a session for you guys. So please don't be shy. Just you need to just unmute yourself and ask anything you have, or you can drop your questions in the chat if you're not comfortable. By the way, we are giving away a free $99 voucher for these weekly webinars. So it's going to be based on the most active users of the session, and if you stay around till the end, we'll definitely give you a $99 voucher to get anything from our add-on store, ListingPro add-on store. It can be used to purchase the theme itself, but the add-ons you can. So just want to let you know, if you are active, that will also help you win an add-on. So please ask questions. This next 90 minutes is for you.
Yeah, so let's jump into a little bit of introduction, just so you guys know who we are. My name is Tim, the Overnight Coder, as I mentioned. I'm going to share screen just so everybody can see. We run 2 different Facebook groups. Sam's got the original group, which is the ListingPro user group. It is here on my screen, ListingPro users. It's got 3,500. It's actually got more than 3,500 members in it. It's a great group to post your questions and answers and get ideas. And that's the big thing. Even though I'm 2-3 years into ListingPro, I am getting many ideas from these chats on things people want to do, things that are coming up, updates, success stories, things of that nature. Also inspirational designs. It's also a secondary group, ListingPro theme. This is my personal group that I started. Not as many members, but just as active. Feel free to join them both. And then my channel. You guys already haven't seen my channel. It's the Overnight Coder. The only reason I'm promoting this is because most of my things for the past 2 years are ListingPro related. There's actually a really gold one in my video list that it was published late. It was just for my clients, and then I opened it up live, but it's how to create a ListingPro site in under 2 hours. And if you haven't already checked out the channel, it's Overnight Coder. And this literally, I take you through the start and setup of a ListingPro site, just to get you on your way. And again, the groups are great for questions, answers, anything like that. So let's jump right in. Again, Sam is here with us. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey, sorry, I forgot about that. So hey guys, so I'm Sam from ListingPro team. I'm product and growth hacker. So I basically been around from day one with ListingPro, and if you guys, most of the technical questions will be answered by Tim here, but I'll try to chip in whenever I can. Yeah, basically that's it for me, Tim.
Perfect. I think let's just jump right in, and if anybody has any questions, now's the time. Ramon, if you have any, or Ramon, sorry, the spelling on that.
Yeah, I think Raymond, he said he's at work, so he won't be able to ask because he doesn't have a mic.
If he wants to start in chat, that'd be great. If not, Joanna, Millie, it's up to you.
Okay, I can go first. I already have a list of questions. And just remind me if I'm hogging too much of the airtime, I need to shut up. So I guess I will start with the very first basic question. So I see that the cost of the theme, is that one-off or is that like a monthly subscription?
Yeah, the cost is always, so the cost that you're looking at, hopefully you're looking at Envato, which is the only place that I know that they sell the theme, and that's what normally $69. Sometimes you can catch some good deals. That's a one-time cost. Anytime you buy a theme from Envato, it's one time. Now there is a support that you can extend support, or you can, and that's only if you need to contact them directly for support. You need some type of login. I'll share a way. I do like support. But a way around that is, yes, I pay the $69 and then I join the Facebook group. And if I need any questions, most people are there. But again, one off for it's lifetime. All your updates will also come there. So even let's just say 2 years down the line, if you need to update, you'll always be able to download that update. You don't need to purchase it again.
Okay, nice. I'm thinking of setting up a site that would have a multi-country and language function. So far, the few example sites that I've come across doesn't really see it as like a country site, but more like they group the location by country and then have a category for the country. So just to understand if such option is available like a country site.
I think that was some of that, in my experience, you're going to need some type of language switcher. There are a few out there that work with ListingPro already, but when I think different countries, the only thing really different is being able to utilize and switching the language and also showing different locations. So like my directory, I kept it all English, but I do locations around the world, and unfortunately I didn't put that language switcher in there, but you can. And I know that ListingPro is also working closely with the WPML, and that's coming out soon, but there are some plugins right now where you can switch that language, switch the pricing, and switch everything to that nature. So as of now, yes, it's going to be a third-party language switcher, but just depending. Now, with my directory, even though it is all English and we're just talking about the wording now, you can find places all over the world, and that's just based on location. So in my locations, I actually edited, because normally ListingPro comes standard with, like, when you're submitting a listing, it says city. I switched that to region, and I cover the 8 major regions of the world. So the 8 major, North America, Asia, and those, that way you can always find a luxury destination in those regions. Now, once you're inside that region, of course, you can sub-filter it out to sub-locations, so I'm in North America, but what about Florida, or what about Georgia? So it's definitely possible, and a lot of that is out of the box. Again, the language switcher is the only thing that isn't. Now, if I was doing a translation for one whole site, they actually have translation files already set up. So, getting it into another language is really quite easier nowadays. Just using something that they've already created for that language and just import it. Like, I got a guy from Norway who, they didn't have a Norwegian PO file or Norway translation file, but you can always go in and just start translating bit by bit by bit, the things that show up. And I had a client spend a week just doing that. Now he's got a translation file for Norway. But yeah, definitely possible.
So in terms of the translation, you're saying that it's a manual process. It's not like one click magic to say, if I'm a Thai and I'm reading this website, I can just translate everything I'm reading into Thai.
Well, in some cases it is. Let me pull up something real quick. ListingPro translations file. I think it's on GitHub. I'm going to share my screen. I don't know the exact link, but Sam is going to post it as I'm talking. I will have it here in 2 seconds. But so translation document, let me just double check. They already have translation files. They don't have it for everything, right? They have, like, I know there's Spanish. I know that the popular ones are already there. If you don't have a translation file, and again, I'm going to find that link for you on what they already have. Other users have actually submitted translation files. So maybe they submitted something on Thai. Now, if they don't have it, what they recommend is Loco Translate, which is a plugin where you can manually go in. Now, keep in mind, a lot of things, like you can see this homepage here, a lot of things on your homepage, you're going to translate yourself when you're building it, right? Instead of happening cities, you put whatever you want here. But some of the theme files may not, like this search button. Well, how do you change the search button? Using Loco Translate, it is going to be as easy as typing in the word search and then replacing it with what you want. So if they don't have your translation file, which again, I'm gonna find for you the list of translation files. Yes, you can easily start to go in there and translate it yourself. Now, I know Google does a really good job of this nowadays. Like Google, if I'm in America, and my native browser is English, of course. But I know a lot of times when I pull up to a website, it'll say, "Hey, did you want to translate the site?" So Google does some of it, but again, you can customize your own as well.
I see. Okay.
And let me see if we can't. Sam, if you I know you have the link to that translation. What is it? It's on GitHub, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna share. Actually, there's one right now. I'm gonna give me a second. Hold on.
how to translate. I know it's in here. Or Arabic, Albanian, French, German, Greek, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish. Here's the list here. And again, if you don't see yours in there, there might even be some new ones. And again, if you don't see yours, first thing I would ask in the Facebook group, because I'm sure somebody had translated it. Just not everything is published.
So this translation files is for the entire language. It's not specific to the website. Is that right?
No, this is specific to ListingPro changes. It's not going to be like every word in their dictionary to every word in your dictionary.
Wow.
It's not going to be that. It's going to be things specific to ListingPro. So again, take a look. There's a few words in here that you'll notice. Add listing, search, image courtesy of, the rest of this is page content, but the word rating, you know, those are things that you wouldn't be able to change because that's in the theme. Of course you can change them, but those are words that the owner didn't actually put in. And in that case, the translation file will work. And there's a whole bunch of things on the backboard, you know, dashboard. You know, did you know you could generate 10 times the leads? Those type of words that you'll see in this theme, everything will be translated into your likings. I've translated a couple files for users. I actually had to stop, you know, only because translation for somebody who doesn't speak the language was a little bit harder for me. Just because, you know, if I translate the word or a phrase, it doesn't always translate over the way an English phrase would. Like in Spanish, I know some things are a little bit out par, you know, they're not always in order. And to find somebody who doesn't speak the language to translate it like myself, it was just, I found it super difficult for my clients. You know, I can always go to Google Translator and put in your set and my set. And, you know, that's always not the best solution. So speaking the language definitely even easier.
Right. So what I'm understanding here is that the translation files work for those words that are in the theme, but for those content on the website, generally you can just click on Google Translate and they will just convert it for you, right?
Wait, the ones on the website, you would actually
like let's say if it's a blog post and whatever content that's written in there that is not a theme per se, right? It's the HTML text that you're putting in the blog post that would then be converted via Google Translate.
Well, it could be, but keep in mind, so it depends on, like if you're trying to switch language, I think you're looking for a plugin, because yes, it could be translated, but I think plugins like WPML. So if I'm looking at, I want to just pull open one of these. This is just a demo site. So I got the default, and somebody put in lorem ipsum text, which, you know, it's I see there's a little bit of English in here. There's a little bit of lorem ipsum. In that case, if you've developed something before, the best way to do this is really a plugin like WPML, or a plugin that allows you to have different blog posts versus clicking English versus clicking Spanish, because the translation with Google could sometimes not be exactly what you want, right? So with WPML, for example, I actually have to do different post iterations if I want it in different languages. I don't know of any plugin that will just say, oh, this is your text for any WordPress theme, and correct me if I'm wrong, and it'll just translate everything perfectly.
Clear.
Now another way to go ahead. Another way to conquer that, just to finish up, is you could do different subdomains, right? So like if I had an English, because in English, let's just say I'm doing like a festival website. I'm doing it for all the America and all of Asia. I would actually have different listings in there anyway. So if this was me, I might even do an English site and an Asian site or an Asia site with different subdomains. So it's all part of the same. But I think it depends on, you know, how you want to utilize this, how you want to focus it. I can have one homepage that just has everything. And then from that homepage, I can click on different sections that take me to, you know, things in North America or things in Asia.
Okay. I'll figure that out as I go. Thanks for that. Does anyone else want to speak? I mean, I'm happy to just, you know, wait for my turn again.
Giovanna, go ahead. They'll raise their hand or mention something or interrupt you.
Okay, sorry. Just a little shy that I'm talking the whole time. Okay, my next question is about, so ideally when I do the listing, I would want to put whatever business information that's already on the Google listing that they have on the maps directly on the website. So instead of me trying to key in all the details for them, is there such a function?
There is. WP All Import comes with, they recommend it from ListingPro. It works great. WP All Import is a plugin that you can import a CSV list into the system. So I'll give you my first example. Somebody wanted to scrape 72,000 listings. They had a list of 72,000 companies and they wanted to throw that in there. And WP All Import handled it. So we started off a site with 72,000 listings. Not only that, they got good Google ratings because they were all over Google. And even though it was just copied content, I didn't think they were going to get that big of a hit, but they did great. Now, how do we get a CSV list, right? So there are plenty of ways. When I first started, I wanted to do it myself. So I grabbed, I'm on a Mac, so I grabbed ScrapeStorm. I'll pull it up just so we have the list. ScrapeStorm was here, and it was free up until like a few, I want to say 200. I can run 10 tasks, and there was like, it was 100 rows. So that was fine for me, because I was just getting 100 a day, but I could actually, I learned this watching one YouTube video, and on my Mac, I started scraping 100 rows per day, which, is 100 listings, which wasn't bad if I just want to like start a new site. I actually did purchase it for a month, which allowed me to get 10,000 rows per day. I times that by about 15 days I worked, and I had a lot of listings. But again, I had to watch a YouTube video. I had to figure out how the program worked. And it scraped things like Google My Business. It scraped things like Yelp. It could scrape, and you can check out the website. It scraped a bunch of different platforms that had a list already generated. My second option was my wife's PC. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to run this on just my computer anymore. So my wife has a PC, not a Mac. And for PC, I tried BotSol. And BotSol also had the same thing. There was like a free download, which you can still find. I know it says request quote, but I was able to download this. And I think I was getting something like 200 listings a day. And that was for PC. So I enjoyed that. But then at some point, I just started getting lazy. And then I went over to Fiverr. And I found Fiverr specialists, and now I'm just a big fan of going over here. Instead of running my own, it's like $5 for 500. I got really in close with a guy who, he's got some deals. I think I paid $100 for 30,000 listings. It saves me a lot of time. Like I don't want to do anything. I just want him to do it all, and he provides a CSV list with everything that I ask for.
Okay. So what you're suggesting is that there's no direct way to embed whatever that you can find on a Google listing into the ListingPro site, right?
Well, it's a two-part process, right? The first process is get your list that you want to import. The second process is going through WP All Import and importing them. And both of them, I promise you, both of them are super easy. Let's see if I have, I'll show you an example.
In this manner, allow me to interrupt, is you will import whatever information that you extracted at that point in time, but let's say any of that business listing information changes, it's not live, right? You have to redo or update.
Well, the good thing about that is you don't really want all the information, and you don't want live information. What you want basic information, because really you want them to go and claim that listing. If you were to fill out information and you update it every time it changes, why do they need to sign up? Right?
That is true.
You do it all. So tell you the truth, I'll give you an example of one of our imports. This is how easy it is. You'll see I have a list over here with 639, just a CSV list with all this stuff that was scraped. And inside this list that was scraped, I pulled over just the basics. I've got the name of the company, I've got the description, I got the tagline. Some of the stuff I left out, like business hours, I left out images. I I don't want those to show up because again, if I do a perfect listing, what's the reason for you to sign up?
That is actually
Right?
really true. Mm.
So give them the basic information, and then I even like to contact my list afterwards and be like, hey, look, you're listed on ListingPro, or you're listing on my directory. Some of the information if you want to claim the listing, and I actually do a claim for free. So I do have a free plan with just the basic stuff. That way I can tell them, look, you can claim it for free and add your information, your proper information in there, you know, and usually they buy a plan from there, but.
Okay. I see that there are, sorry, I'm moving on to the next question already. There is a dashboard for admin and a dashboard for users, as in, let's say, the business owners. Is there also a dashboard for users, site visitors?
There is. So the way this works, I'm going to go back to the default, is so admin, like you're right, ListingPro CC, this is the dashboard. I use this when I get a notification, right? This just tells me everything that's going on with the site. I get an email, I come here, and then if it's pending, I click here. If it's an ad, I click here, you know, and I just go, it brings me directly into the site. For users, this is actually a cool system because if you just have if you don't, well, let me go into the dashboard first. This is the dashboard for listing owners. Dashboard for listing owners has everything that has enabled. So right now, I believe the demo has everything. I can go into my listings and see which listings I have, which is, you know, all the demo listings. Now, if you're not an admin, you get the same dashboard, or you're not a business owner, you get the same dashboard. It just doesn't have some of these things. Like it won't have announcements, it won't have events, it won't have coupons or menus, it won't have listings. It will have inbox, it will have saved, and it will have reviews. So the dashboard is one in all, but hides some things so they can utilize one dashboard, but for both clients. Really cool feature.
Right. So for business owners, they would see listings, and in their listing, if they have more than one store, for example, they could see, like, let's say, all 6 of them on one page.
Yep. If you're looking at my screen right now, I'm sharing a screen where I own all the demo content because, you know, I uploaded it. I own all these listings. Now, inside the listings, it'll tell me individual stats, or on my dashboard, it'll tell me general stats, right? That I can go into more insights and see exactly. And again, this was just uploaded from the demo, but you can kind of see here. So yes, they do have complete control. Not only that, they can actually do something within those, right? They can edit each one. They can upgrade the plan. They can also add an ad campaign just for that specific listing. Most people only have 1 or 2 listings. I figured out, you know, after building a bunch of sites. But even if I have 10 or 12 and I want to create an ad campaign, it's as simple as searching for my listing. Whoops. Searching for my searching for a listing that I own, and it would be in this list, and I can still do things within that specific listing as well.
Okay. And this ad placements here on this page, are they all customizable, or is already kind of fixed? This is where usual placements are.
No, this is definitely customizable. I'll walk through some, like the text I customize through I'm so sorry, Loco Translate. So some of the text around this spot, I would translate with Loco Translate. But one of the biggest ones is like payment methods. That depends on what payment method you've already set up in the back end. The prices, I don't keep these prices, $10 and $50 per day. I normally change these like $2 and $3 per day. That way a member gets like 2, 2, 3, and get everything for $90 for the month. But you can customize every bit of this. This is set for how many days you want, but in the back end, you can actually set it up for pay-per-click as well. Days is actually my preferred, but again, in the back end, you can set this up to how many days did you want, or how much per click did you want to spend too, and everything would change dynamically.
Okay. I guess one probably last question for the site users, just general audience. I tried browsing this website, and before I even signed up with the website, like basically having an account with them, right? I could already click on like the bookmark, but I think it's like a ghost bookmark. It doesn't go anywhere because I don't have an account to record that bookmark. Is that like a glitch or?
Wait, what are you trying to book? I'm so sorry. Can you?
If I can just share you a website just to show the
Yeah.
example. Okay. So I'm popping it in the chat. Oops.
I'm gonna pull it right up.
So I noticed this on multiple websites already. So if you go to any listing, yeah, you see there's a save button there, right? And basically you're not signed in, but if you click on the save button, which is at the top, that corner there, it saves, but to where?
So I think this is the data store. Let's just double check it, right? So the data store, if I'm not logged in, where would you expect it to be saved? So this is Atelier. I'm hoping that this is going to pop up again if I refresh the page. It did. And unfortunately, because this is saved on data stores, it's not saved anymore. If you're logged in, it will save, and I think that, in this case here, I'd probably do a pop-up that says, hey, please log in first. Because if you're not logged in, it doesn't have a spot to save. Now check this out. So if I'm here and now I am logged in, I'm just going to click saved on salon, co, and hairstyle. If I am logged in, we're going to go back to the dashboard. And even if I didn't have an owner profile, I can go to saved and find that save listing here. So I think that's as simple as letting them know, hey, please log in, or when they click on this button, maybe a little bit of knowledge beforehand that you do want an account to save the listing.
Right. Yeah. I thought that would be more intuitive. And basically, is it possible to customize like having a save button and a heart button for different users? Like one is I want to go here, or one I love this place.
Right now, if I were to tell you out of the box, that's not possible. Just out of the box, it's not set up like that. Like changing, if I just wanted to change the icon, I can see that the icon is here. It's the bookmark. I mean, I could definitely change this with either a little bit of custom CSS styling to go after this class to do a heart. But if I wanted both buttons, I would be talking about some customization, like some customization that, and again, you can hire it, or if you're comfortable doing it, it would be super easy. All you're talking about is a post and a data store, storing the data to store different types of things, not just save, but I like to go there, or I really love this place type deal. So it's definitely possible, but out of the box, they didn't set that up. Sam is here, and I know he's taking notes. So I know if we get enough people asking for something like that, they'll definitely implement it. They also have a customization department where if you're just, and that I can't tell you the prices for their customization department, but that's not a hard one, right? We're adding a different data store other than the one you already have in there. So definitely possible.
Yep. Okay. Well, I just have one last question. So for the mobile view, is that something that's already automated, or is that something I need to further customize to make it more user-friendly?
Out of the box, I don't have a problem. I do see, and I'm just going to give you honest opinion. Some people don't like some of the mobile views. They have 3 different ones to choose from. And if you don't like something in there, what do you do? If you pick a theme and you don't like one of the views, you modify it, right? So, I mean, I know I'm kind of cheating because I'm a developer, so I can do whatever I wanted. But out of the box, I'm going to share my 2 favorite. I know Sam has a different favorite. I hear him all the time. He might not chime in, but let me just share my 2. And I know why. So my first one is, if you're using block grid items and not like a list style, I like responsive view. I like that because everything just becomes responsive to big grids. If I'm using a list style, a responsive grid doesn't really look good. Or if I want more of an app view, I'll switch to the app view 1. Now that's their older app view. Sam's preference is probably the app view 2, but I have to go into app view 2 and change so many different colors because I didn't like what they had going. But that's just I get a lot of people that like both app view and app view 1. Now the cool thing about app view is AppView is your mobile X platform. And what it does is it takes you into more of an app style, right? It's not just a responsive website anymore. And I don't think I'll be able to display this on computer. Let me just check. But what it's going to do is it's going to, no, I definitely, give me just a sec, history. I think I don't have user agents on this browser, so I won't be able to show you here, but let's just shrink it and see if I can see the difference.
Maybe you can try just minimizing. Oh, yeah, there. Okay.
Yeah, but no, it's definitely not going to do AppView. So AppView, and again, on my other browser, I can do like a different window agent, like I can simulate an iPhone. But what happens here is, see, this would not work for me. You know, and AppView doesn't do this. AppView actually opens it up to a totally different mobile appearance. And it's even like when I'm on a listing, it's even got 3 things at the bottom of the screen where I can email, contact, find directions. So it does look more like an app. And again, my favorite's AppView 1, but there's also AppView 2, which you can set up. Another cool thing about AppView is once you set up AppView, you can actually define a new homepage. So if you want to go in, and especially for speed and optimization, I'll go in and make a mobile homepage as well. That'll look similar, but won't have some of the, you know, like some people like to put 10 blog pages on the homepage. I wouldn't have that in an AppView. I'd do like a scrolling slider or something crazy. So yeah, there's so many options back here that you can just kind of set up and do.
Okay, cool. I think there's a question in the chat box.
Yeah, I'm definitely reading that right now. I pulled up the image. It's the share buttons. As an end user, while sharing individual listings with friends, can we add WhatsApp to the share button and link here? There is a way. So the question was, you know, he showed an image which she wants. I don't think I have that listing style on here. Let me just check. So you're in the listing page and there is a share button in there, and he wants to know if you can add WhatsApp to the share button. Yeah, I don't have that style up. In this sense, yes, you can. There was a couple, and again, I'm going to reference because I'm not going to be able to find it, I'm sure. But if you were to go to the Facebook group, I am going to search so you can try to see exactly how to do this. Other members have done this. Inspiration. Let me just go to their group, which is ListingPro user group. I'm just going to type in the word WhatsApp in my search. There have been plenty of people to do this. Whether you're replacing, like right here, bam. I really want to add WhatsApp share to the social share of ListingPro. Almost all the social shares are not applicable in my country. So yeah, he wants to do this. There's 18 comments in here. I am sure somebody found the solution. But yeah, you can also add WhatsApp as the phone number, as you probably already know, instead of the phone number. So, but you're talking about the social share, and yeah, you can. I mean, it's asked so many times in this group. Join the Facebook group and do the search like I did. You'll find it. It's in here. I see it nonstop. Hopefully, Mirage, that helps you. I will open this while we're waiting on the next question just to see. There it is. So you need to edit a few files. This is 2 years ago, but I'm sure there's more comment stuff as well. But yeah, he just says, hey, we're going to edit 2 files. Somebody is asking for the URL. But yeah, gets specific. Somebody else had a video. And again, I see this almost like monthly. So there's going to be some newer responses as well. Perfect. Raj, what else you got? Or Jovena or Millie? Any questions? Here's another one. I told you, people all the time, same question over and over. This one never got answered, but how to change one. Changing one might be even easier, Mirage. Instead of trying to add your own spot, if you say some of them aren't even compatible, change Google or change YouTube or change, one of those share buttons into, which is just replacing 2 links, right? You're going to replace the icon and you're going to replace the share link, and people are doing it all the time. What else we got, guys? Questions and answers. Let's do it. Giovanna, I know you got some more questions. This is great advice. Great questions you already have. You normally don't get this with other themes, like they don't just jump on and be like, here's what you do. So super awesome.
One thing, I have also purchased this ListingPro, this Android add-on. So should I create the website first and complete it, then only we should activate this Android app, or it has to go parallel side by side?
No, you know what? Most people already have a ListingPro site. Now, I'm not going to be the Android guy because I haven't downloaded that yet, but I have had clients who do it. I think it's best to complete the site, in my opinion, and then go for the app. Go for the app after you're done with testing and everything else. And I don't see a problem with integrating it now. Again, I haven't used it enough to be able to tell you like if you should. And most people don't, right? Most people have a full site and then think about taking their full site into an app. So again, that would be my recommendation, but I don't think it matters. So
my thought is also the same. First, let me complete the website, then only we'll get the activate for this.
Yeah, right. And as a developer, that's how I want to make sure I got the completed website before I turn anything into an app. Especially, I know the Android app you already paid for, but like normally, if I'm going to build out an app, oh, I definitely need it all set up.
Yeah.
Hey Tim, I just want to add something here. I know this what just Miraj asked. It's a common question, and I asked this pretty similar question to the product manager of Facebook mobile app. I had a chance when I was attending a meetup in Bay Area, and I asked her like, what should we do? Like, should we go for mobile app and web app? And she said, always go with the web app first and make it perfect, and then go for mobile app. And this was the Facebook mobile app product manager. Yeah, so just yeah, just something.
Yeah, so website first, make sure it looks good in your responsive view or your review, and then like you said, go for it.
Yeah, got it.
This is a really good example. One of my favorite sites is ListingPro. But any other questions? What else you guys got?
Okay, yes, on the same website which you are right now, this is pre-lifestyle. Okay, so on the front page, as I can see, there are 4 different pages which keeps on changing on every 3 to 5 seconds. So for these kind of setting, if I want to add some different category, 4 different categories of listing on the front page, so I have to get it customized, or is there any inbuilt functions are there in the ListingPro?
There's 2 ways you can do it. One is free, one is customized. This site does have a lot of different customizations. What this guy has actually done is he's ripped out the header, and he's replaced it with a hero slider, right? And that hero slider, he got the design, and then right on top, he posted the old ListingPro search bar. So this was actually created with a hero slider, right? Your hero slider that you probably already have in your database, or maybe you have to buy, and then created everything, but then just posted this there. That's custom, right? Ripping open a header, redesigning something. There's a free way to do it. It's not gonna be like this, because this one's actually rotating with new buttons, new information. But the other way to do it is ListingPro actually offers a video background banner. So I mean, if you're good with or editing and cropping, just different clips, all this is a burn effect. I mean, I know this effect all too much. I take an image and burn it in.
On the video, the customer will not be having the option to click for that particular. For example, here on that, he can go for the food. He can click on that. He is getting the advertisement also. Like two call to action button is there, right? Get event ticket, like for example on the current one, make a reservation, add a registration. Yeah.
In that case, if you wanted to go full custom like that, that is going to be a customization. Right out of the box, this is definitely, it's a hero slider behind here. I mean, I can inspect it and tell you exactly which one, but there's so many that it's definitely yeah, he's got a lot of stuff. Rev slider is what he used. Rev Slider is a third-party plugin, but again, you have to I'm not gonna say it's not hard. Ripping open the header and the header PHP files, not very hard at all. Copying this button was super simple. If you inspect this, I'm not gonna give you like a full workaround, but I find this full code because I've done it before. So if I take that full code and edit as a HTML, I can actually pull that full search bar right out and use it on other pages with just this code. And I didn't do any coding here. I'm just gonna copy that and replace it. Now, the hardest part is just, the header PHP, throwing in your Rev Slider instead. And then I think the funnest part is you do have to design the layout, right? So in Rev Slider, so I got an image with Ken Burns, I got 2 buttons, I got text, I want my search link here. And of course, he designed 4 of them. Anytime this guy gets an advertisement, he's going to create another one. So then, not a lot of custom artwork. As you can see, it's just lettering, 2 buttons, and a picture that's Ken burning in, but it's super possible. Super possible.
Got it.
And again, ListingPro has customizations. There's freelancers out there. You probably can do it. Just make a backup. The header PHP file is super easy to edit. And I do this funny thing. Like I don't know exactly where to put things sometimes, so I just go in there and type something crazy, right? And if I see it on my homepage, I know exactly where I'm editing it. So that's just a trick I use. Sometimes I'll rename the file. If my header disappears, I'm in the right spot. But I happen to know this is definitely header PHP edits. The normal header looks similar to these. And here's an awesome example where you didn't need this no customization. Well, I mean, the site has customization. But something as simple as this banner doesn't need anything.
Actually, my purpose to get that thing and that slider was so that I can put some monetization, like for the advertisement, for the special listings. I can get it advertisement on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I agree. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to do, I like this method better. What does ListingPro do, right? ListingPro already allows you to do that. It would be manually. There's no additional setup, but image courtesy of, right? And normally it'll use the image that they have used, which always isn't the right sizing, but it kind of already does that. It just doesn't rotate out, doesn't have specific buttons. So I do like the pre-lifestyles one better. But again, this site is so much customization, just fun stuff. It's great to get ideas. Oh.
So thanks for sharing all the resources on chat. So I've kind of like followed everything already. This is like my day 0. What would you best suggest the resources to go to as a startup on this theme?
Resources for setup?
Yeah. Where would I be looking first for all the 101 on getting this set up with WordPress and everything else I need to know? I know you have the 2-hour tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just because, so I'm not biased just because it's my video, but ListingPro has a very good documentation, but they also, my channel, I'll show you a couple good videos, right? And then from there, you take it into what you need specifically. So the Overnight Coder, I'm gonna go over just a couple of the videos that were, informational. And then again, you can go as deep as you'd like. Let me make sure this is muted. So one of the videos on the playlist is my one with 30,000 views. And it's the how to create a directory with ListingPro. It's got the 29,000 views. This is just a general overview. It doesn't teach you how to create a site. It just goes over the settings. I know it says how to create a directory, but this will go over the settings that what you can do with ListingPro. Right. And then I told you the gold video that doesn't have a lot of views is creating a ListingPro site in 2 hours. The video is literally 1 hour and 40 minutes. And I take you through my best settings for creating a single site. That includes loco translate, like we talked about earlier. It includes those type of things where most people, they're like, oh, okay, I don't know how to do that. It doesn't include importing But again, if you said, hey, I want to import, again, ListingPro has great read-through documentation, but here's my, business plan and importing setup. It's 20 minutes long, so some of these videos, as you start getting them, making money with ListingPro, how many different ways can we make money? And not all these are like ListingPro methods. Like some of them have just been brought to me by clients, like concierge sections or, ideas on how to make money with ListingPro. So as you get through it and you build out that site with like the first 2 videos, maybe kind of explore what you want to do. Now, as a developer myself, I actually like to get a wireframe in my head or on a piece of paper first. So like the first thing I do is I go to that notepad and I just start creating ideas. What pages do I want? I want the blog. I want listings on the home page. I want listings on a directory page. So I have to actually craft ideas in my head first and then see exactly what I want to do with the thing. Because there's something like I don't use the menu. I'm not using the menu for my directory, but I don't need the menu for my directory, right? So different pieces. I don't want to waste time on a menu if I'm not even focused about it. So again, my channel is a good place to start. There's a link in the description. If not, the documentation, really good place to start. Now it is a WordPress theme, so you're going to see everything in the back end here, just like a regular WordPress. I've got a bunch of stuff in blue, which one is listings. You're going to be really familiar if you've used WordPress before on how to add a new or edit or delete, and it's got all the questions on the page. So just kind of fooling around, give you a real good start. That's how I learned. I didn't watch a video. I just got back here, started playing around. Something I do spend about, I want to say it takes me about 30 minutes now because I know what everything is. When I first started, it took me about 2-3 hours to get through all the settings, and you'll see those here. But just to know what each one did, where's the primary. I would set this to pink, and whatever's pink on my homepage, I know is the primary color. Not that I want to use pink. But once I knew where all these settings were and what they did, it was super easy. And that's what one of the video goes over. Just, it's an hour of just going down the settings. That way you don't have to spend the 3 hours that I spent. But once you're familiar with web design in general, everybody knows where the header is. Everybody knows where a banner is. So once you're comfortable with what settings there are, now you just know where to find them. Header, banner, listing page. Inside that listing page, are you talking about the archive view or the detail page? Or are you talking about the submit page? And see, once you know those things, it's just super. And again, they're self-explanatory, but reading all this in 20 minutes was rough. Here's a big one, listing order by. Do you want to order it by date? Do you want to order it by, I like random. So everybody gets, custom approved or everybody gets equal exposure. But there's another one by most claimed or highest reviewed. So how do you want to sort things? Again, it's all just fun and games, and it's a nice glass of wine, and just kind of filling all this stuff out. Sorry, my underage YouTube drinkers. No wine, it's going to be juice, fruit punch. So yeah, there was a question. Wait, Millie, let's get to your site, Cloudway. Let's take a look. I don't know if you want feedback, or if you're not looking for feedback, I don't want to give you any feedback. I had to learn that the hard way. Somebody was like, just keep that to yourself. All I wanted you to fix this, and I'm just like, okay, sorry. Oh yeah, I've seen this before. We must have talked. Well, are you? Yeah, maybe you've direct messaged me. I've seen. How do I know this site?
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, Millie. How have I seen this site? You've been in my messenger box, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been in your inbox. I've sent you quite a few messages.
remind me what one of them was, just so I can remember. I remember being here. I just don't remember. So many clients, and this was recently. I didn't feel so bad.
Sorry.
One. It's looking good. It's looking really good. Did you have any questions about your site, or you want us to just kind of take a look?
Yeah. I just said just a few questions. Just a few questions.
Sure. Go ahead.
Let's say like if someone sends a message to someone through the listing, are they able to tell that the message is from Cloudway or something?
That is a good question.
What was the question again, Tim? I think I lost. Yeah, maybe
I don't know
I can chime in.
Yeah, I don't know who the email comes from. I know she can change the template, but this is the question. So when somebody comes here and they post, let's say I'm not logged in, and I fill out this response, they get the email. So Tom Forge, PVT, LTD, if this is their listing or whoever owns this actual listing, they get the email, but doesn't say it's from Cloudway.
Okay.
Sam's gonna help us out with that one. She says it does not right now.
It would in the email or in the inbox, because there's like
in the inbox. Like I'm just asking. I haven't tried it. Yeah.
Okay, let me just double check before I respond to that. Because you can I think either set it to just send it as an email or receive it in the dashboard under the inbox. So let's just see.
I don't think you want to bring up the inbox, Sam, because if they're not logged in, they don't ever get that. All right, so they don't have a login yet if they're just using the subscription form. So that's a bad example there. But the email and the from, the email and the from should be from your website, because it's not your server sending the email. So they should get that notification from Cloudway or whoever your from email or your SMTP is sending it from. But of course, the message, they can't even reply to that message because the reply would go to your server. That's why when they actually get the email, the user gets the email, it actually has this information, their name, their email, their phone number, and they actually have to use this. So you can't reply to that email. You have to say, hey, I'll take that lead and I'll plug it into this.
Okay, get it.
I know there's workarounds on that too, but the email, again, the email comes from your server. So the email, I would put, the from name, I would put Cloudway, and I know that there's ways, not just in the theme options, but with the SMTP program that I'm using, I actually had to customize my outgoing email because I wanted to say, please don't reply to this email. Here's the information below. So you're literally giving them a lead, and they have to copy and paste that email and put it into their server. But now I know there's ways that you can also do from email, and that would be additional coding. But all this is doing is sending over the information that these people are putting in. That was a good question though. Like form hidden. I could do a hidden form with. I'm not ready. I'm in a webinar with a bunch of people. You want to help? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Bye. See ya. Sorry. I should have muted it, but we're raw and uncut here. So yeah, so there's definitely different ways to do it. I'm going to test it out now just so I can see exactly what they're seeing. But again, I think the only is like the from and the email. Again, you could put this in. There's a way to edit that email template, not within the theme options, not outside the box or not inside the box. But I know that we can edit that template through SMTP or through a template file that's already being generated. And yeah, you could put like a welcome note there, or hey, this message is being sent by Cloudway.
Okay. And then like last time I asked you about the free plan, like, if I make it unlimited, it's disappearing. So I don't know what's wrong there. I wanted to make it the duration.
So the duration you want unlimited?
Yeah, for the free plan.
Did you put 0 or nothing in there? So in this case, what you would do is not have a duration at all. Leave empty for unlimited.
Yeah, I did that, and then it wasn't showing, like the plan wasn't showing. It was just showing two plans. I think I remember I did that. Oh, I'm not sure. I would just try to do that again.
Oh, let's take a look. Now's your time, so let's just take a look. That's something I can definitely probably fix. The free plan is showing, right?
Yeah, but then it's showing only when I write, like when I set it to 30 days.
No, because I think this has to do with the package. Do you mind if we log in here? I think do I probably still have a login?
Yeah, then I'll have to make you what the administrator decide. Yeah, you can. Oh, you still have it.
Maybe you can just direct message him the login details, a new password or whatever. Just reset the password for him. Just DM him.
Yeah, you don't want to post it in the group. The group is going to be broadcasted to everybody. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll create a user real quick. We'll get through this real quick. I'll just create a real quick account, and all you have to do is send it over to admin. Let's just take a look.
All right.
Let's do this one. Is this going to? Oh, yeah. It's going to show my password.
Finally, what is your website about? I was just curious.
My website?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just about like my city, like just people finding businesses from my. It's just within my city, just one city, and it's a small town in Zimbabwe.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Okay.
All you have to do is activate the one with x@overnightcoder.com. We'll just take a quick look. Nick, man, still ironing out some things on the website thing, but enjoying it. Your website, man, I'll pull that up right after, man. We'll take a look at that too. Give you some free feedback, maybe fix a couple of issues, and then Melanie, let me know when that's all set. I'll just log in and double check that plan. It should be able to be free anyway.
Yeah,
Thanks. Thanks so much, Tim. Thanks so much. So thanks. Thanks, Joanna. We appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye.
All right. Later. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
See you later. I'm sold. Thanks for the great introduction. I recommend I would be dialing it next time.
I'll make you an administrator now, I think.
Awesome. Awesome. Have a good one. Awesome. Let's just double check. So free plan is not showing up if you set it for unlimited. We are going to go into the pricing plans, go into the free plan. We're going to set that over to unlimited. 30 days. It looks like it's blank already. What? It's not editable.
Because it's set for monthly. Hey, Tim, it's if you look at duration on the top, it's set monthly default set. So here's the thing. I believe, yeah, you can try this. Just leave it empty. But if you're gonna have it monthly, if you're gonna use the monthly and annual packages, I think it would.
It won't show up.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So it actually, no, it shouldn't be showing up. Let me hard refresh. There it is. So what you're saying is because you're using, you can pick a monthly or you can pick an annual. You're going to run into some funny business only because you do have to set it to something to either monthly or annual. Now, here, I don't know if this is going to work, but like, so you had it set to, whoops, not here. You had it set to monthly. So you have to pick a monthly thing. Otherwise it was grayed out for me, right? Like, as a matter of fact, it doesn't even show up now. Yearly, perfect. So monthly. And with that being said, so it's going to set it for 30 days automatically because notice it doesn't even show up here. You can continue the free plan after expire, but I don't think that's gonna do it as well. So I kind of have a workaround, but we're not gonna like it.
Tim, why wouldn't you think the sorry to interrupt you, the option that user can check out to continue free plan, because that says it's for the free plan.
Well, it says, yeah, but this option only works with the free plan because she says it's been falling off. So if she's had that, again, it should work. But again, if it doesn't fall off and it doesn't, I guess you'd have to test it. So set it down. You can't even set it to 1 day. If these fall off and they have already been set on that free plan, then what's the solution after that? And I have seen where some of these, I just don't know on monthly and annually if that's going to fall off or not. It shouldn't fall off. It should just repeat, right? But it's no longer going to say 28 days left. It would be 0 days left, but it would still be published. So that again, the way you have it set up right now for any plan that you're adding, matter of fact, look at this. This one was added after the fact. This is unlimited days left, but it's on the free plan, right? Or the payment status was free, but they kept creating. These ones don't have a time left, but they're still published. So that is what I would expect to see when that free plan runs out. This is just letting you know that this one was on the free plan, but it still has 28 days of that free plan left. After that, I would expect to see blank, but it doesn't go into pending like these have, you know, or maybe you had done that automatically. Another method around this is I rip that button out and do custom pricing plans. I don't think you have to do that, but I always I take the button and build my own plan so I can use it on anything. Like in my example, I would have the free up here, like just, you know, hey, you can sign up for free. I have the free button here, and then have my monthly and annually, yes, inside this clickable. If that didn't work, but I think this will work now. Just it says duration 30 days when really, you know, you want it to say unlimited.
Okay. All right. And that's the last one. Like that part where I don't know what to call it, where it shows recent reviewed listings. I can only put 5, like maximum is 5 if you scroll down. Like scroll down again.
Which one? Reviewed?
Just the like the maximum is 5.
Is what?
Where it says like, see what people are saying about these local business and stuff, just above the blog part, just above the blog section.
Going to there now. So with activities, looks like the next number here is 5. Again, this has been asked in the Facebook group. You can actually switch this in multiple spots. In the theme, no, it's not. You know, you can't switch it manually or easily, but with a little bit of developer knowledge or following one of those Facebook posts, you can actually switch it to 20 here or switch it to your hard-coded number, and then also fix it on the back end. It's one line of code. I'll have to find that for you because I know it hasn't been asked a bunch of times, but oh my gosh, I got, give me just a sec. Hey guys. Thank you. Perfect, thank you. Anybody want to borrow some kids?
I got 2. I'm good.
I got 4, bro. They never stop. So yeah, so I know I've seen this before, but you're right. They set a maximum number of 5 over here. And again, this isn't hard coded. I was just playing around with the value and the option. You can show multiples. And again, if you give me a few, I'll try to find that. I'm gonna put it in my notes. Max 5 activities to max number. Again, it's something where I actually have to set it in hard code. So like I pick 21 and then select 21 from the list, depending on what looks good. You know, so have a number in mind when, and again, 2 lines of code, we could easily find and fix that.
All right.
Come back to that. Any other questions while we're on your site?
Nah. Thank you so much.
You sure? The site is looking good. I like some of the stuff you got going on.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've got plenty of time for feedback. Don't worry. We're going to take a look at Nick's site real quick. Nick just asked, maybe he has some questions as well. This is not your site, Nick. So first off, there's no period after your .com. We'll come back to Cloudway, see what's going on. So first off, Nick, I don't know if it's just me. It usually isn't. Your site is extremely slow, my friend. Not sure where this is based out of. Looks like out of Virginia. Then this is definitely an issue. It's still loading. I'm going to tell you the first thing I probably would suggest is server, but I'm actually going to take a look for you and do you that favor. I'll also tell you a free place you can test it for 3 days. Oh, it's doing something. Perfect. Hopefully you've got some good caching. So once they view it once, that never happens again. Unfortunately, caching is really tough because if you see it's loading fast, but then you see somebody else that took 15 seconds, I would never wait on that page load time. And I would have never seen your homepage. I would have been out of here by now. So keep that in mind when you're looking. We are going to analyze the URL and just get, are you using WP Rocket?
No.
A Nitro Pack, sorry.
Nope, not using Nitro Pack either.
Something's hiding your stats, man. I've physically just seen it load forever. But you're running an A91%, which is usually incorrect. Do you run into speed issues as well?
Yes. I right before I was using, I'm sorry, hold on. I was using another directory theme, and then I switched from that theme to ListingPro, but then I also made the switch from SiteGround over to Cloudways. And it seems like since I've moved over, I've just been having like very slow issues, like especially with trying to actually load the listing detail page itself. Now I've imported I probably have over 20,000 listings on this site. I don't know if it's the number of listings that I have that's, making it just so heavy, or what's making it slow, but the slowness is the big issue that I'm running into.
Brother, something I don't know. That's so on my screen. I pulled up the W2 detector because without you even telling me, I was trying to see if I could figure out what plugin was doing that. There are some plugins out there like Nitro Pack, WP Rocket it worked well, but Nitro Pack was like literally hiding my. Maybe it wasn't Nitro Pack. It was one of those. It was literally hiding my stats and would say A every time. And I'm like, dude, my site's not an A. I know it's not an A. But that was like the first feeling when I got to your site and it took like 15 seconds to load. And then I get here and I feel like it's not reading some of the stuff. Cloudways is a good server though. That's actually my #1 recommendation. My #2 is SiteGround. Cloudways is a night and day. But running an A, I feel like look, largest paint is the biggest one that comes up on everybody else, and it's not pulling that information on this site. So that's like one of the big ones you'll see with largest contestable paint when switching over. And then let me ask, do you have a CDN?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I was just wondering because that one pops up a lot of people just don't enable CDN. I didn't see it here, so that's good. But yeah, scores don't look that bad here. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a real deal. I don't know. Let me just see something. So when you open a listing, it's like just got default images. How many are on this page? We got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 30 isn't going to cause you a high load page speed, but you said when you go into the detail, it shouldn't be slow at all. It's got all that data and it's pulling in here. This is not a normal Cloudways load time. Yeah, I would try removing some of the caching that you have there, and trying to figure out that third-party plugins, and seeing if it moves any faster. I have over 40 clients on Cloudways right now. None of their sites move like this while going into a listing. So I think you have something definitely internally wrong here. And unfortunately, I can't even see what it is. It's like a 91%. I would check with some of the configurations of you moving from server to server. Again, I move people from SiteGround to Cloudways. I don't think that would cause an issue, but you're definitely something you want to take a further look at.
Okay.
And I mean, I wouldn't mind. Let's check page insight speed scores. I wouldn't mind helping you out with it. No charge. Just kind of taking a look and seeing more of the back end. And if you want to provide back end while we're here, we can take a few minutes, kind of take a look. But what did I just do? Well, let's see if page insight speed scores tell us anything better. Yeah, but this is misleading. Not only that, it's really hard to get an A91% with ListingPro without those right optimization tools. And I just don't. You're definitely not running an A. This is still loading. Worst case scenario, you're not. this isn't the best case scenario. Best case, you disable one of the plugins and all of a sudden it works, right? Or you try something different, no caching, no. I checked the WP config file. If you're a little bit familiar with that, just make sure it's default. It doesn't have all your catching stuff in it or other server stuff in it. From there, if that didn't work, and again, you're probably not gonna like this solution, but I would keep this live site. I'd open up another Cloudways application for free. Look at this, we just got a database there, and that was based on load times. I would keep this install, but I'd export everything from it. Like, you can export the theme options. That's everything in the theme options. I would just export that. Everything from listings, I would export that. Any blog posts, I would export that. Pages, right under tools. Matter of fact, you can export everything except for all the ListingPro data easily with this tools export, and just do everything. Get the media, get everything. What you don't want is plugins and any type of, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't duplicate the site, even though that's really easy. Grab a plugin and just hit duplicate. I would just export content and get it right onto a new site. Because again, Cloudways, how many other sites do you have on your Cloudway server? Is it a lot?
No, on this one, on the same one that this one is on, I have 7 or 6 other sites on it.
Well, depending on those other sites, and I'm sure you know this by now, but if you log into Cloudways and you just hit that monitoring button on that server, you can see if you're almost at your limit or not, right? And I'm not blaming that at all. They might be 7 small sites, 7 something else. But if I go over there, I'm just going to click that monitoring because I'm really happy. And again, most of my clients have that $10 to $12 hosting, and they have like 4 sites on it or 1 site on it. But keep in mind, let me go to one of my 1 gigabytes so you can see. If I were to just click on this and click monitoring, it'll pull up what the usage is. Just make sure that you're not having any problems there. And then keep in mind, you can always go in and optimize or clear all the data out, clean it. What is that? Vertical scaling, settings and managed services, something like that. I don't do it all here. I can restart all my applications. And again, if you keep having issues, man, my name is the Overnight Coder. Feel free to reach out to me. I said I'm not going to put my email, so we'll just because I got bombarded. My website is overnightcoder.com. You can use the contact page, or I'm in both Facebook groups if you want to ask the same question. I will specifically take a look at the back end if you want, and just see what you've got going on there. But your second option is just rebuild and import. And, that would take all of an hour or 2 hours, just making sure everything was right. But look at this. Something is definitely off here. Usually this is with a bad database connection. So I would try WP config, but because I don't think yours is coming from a bad WP connection, because we're just looking at your site for, the minutes prior. So I think this would be a timeout. And again, if you haven't done any customizations in your normal server, that's very rare. Again, it's really conflicting. And reach out to somebody. Myself, I'll help you out for free, man. We'll get back there.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to you on the Facebook group, and I'll DM you, my information and everything. So if you want to go in and just kind of take a look, but I mean, even the server on Cloudways is on the Vulture, the high performance, I think 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gig disk, space. So it's not on the lowest one. I pay about $50 a month for that server.
Yeah, let me give you an idea, man. So the Overnight Coder server, I am using, again, it's the 4 gig too, or I pay $44 just for this one piece. And this site has, we're gonna check monitoring real quick. It's definitely something in your config, I don't think it's Cloudways. So look at this, I'm 1/4 of my usage, and then about, almost half here, no CPU usage. But when I go into these sites, man, remember, this is the Overnight Coder server. So we're not gonna look at everybody else's server. We're just looking at things that say overnight. This, matter of fact, look at all the ones that say client server, 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 client server. Wow. Now that client server, let's talk about that one, because that's only the 2 gigabyte. And most of those were directories, bro. So you see what I'm saying? And had listings. So most of them, and it's still, let's just take a look at these ones, because I know I looked at my server first. So this one I'm paying less than you, and the server is about half usage on RAM, nowhere near the disk usage. And those sites, I promise those sites run like eggs. They run there's no 15-second delay. I can show you, but I think, take my word for it, man. These sites don't, huh?
No. I'm listening.
Yeah, so any one of these, I could pull it right now, man. This is client server. Here's Medcard spam. Load speed is finish loading. And this is all the data you'll see. Listing page, same thing. Of course, I customize it a lot with Elementor Pro, but yeah, and again, we can run the GT metrics on that one. That one truly is an A. Millie, have a good one. Sounds like you're taking off. But yeah, so again, I didn't do anything with my configuration on Cloudways. I create the application, I set a backup date, which really isn't configuration, just to make sure my backups are right, and I let it run just the way it was configured. So something, again, I think it's with that install. Are your other sites running slow as well? You said about how 6 or 7?
Yes.
They are?
Yes, the other sites are, yep.
They're running slow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I'd love to take a look at that. It sounds like we're going to look at server first. Something there is acting super funny. Wow, that's interesting. So maybe it's not your site. Were all of them were probably moved though. SiteGround, the host, Cloudways, the whole process that you explained.
Yes, I migrated them all over.
So something definitely gives. But the good news is now you don't have me thinking it's this site specifically. Now you have me thinking it's more server related, whether we have to create a new server right inside there and then just cancel that old one so you're only charged for one and moving everything. But let's just get down to the bottom of it.
Okay, perfect.
Really good company. While I'm taking the next question, do you have any other questions while I'm looking at your site?
Yeah, just one question. So when you go to the sign up, right? So there's the sign up, the modal pops up, and you can either sign in or, if you're not a member, you can click the bottom part to actually create an account. Is there any way to have it where, because I noticed when some people come on the site and when they do sign up, they're just signing up as a subscriber. But then I see their email and everything, and they're actually the businesses. So I'm wondering, okay, well, is there a way where when they sign up, they can actually like maybe click something that says like register as a business, and then it takes them over to the pricing and that kind of deal?
So here is something you might. It's not. So out of the box, you don't mess with any of this, right? Anyone can register. Look, this one isn't set up. I don't have to click this. Anyone can register. I don't have to click my default role. But WordPress alone, if you were to sign up, you can push them into a default role. Unfortunately, if somebody were to just sign up, I hope this is not that loading. If somebody were to just sign up on your site, how do you know if they are just a user or if they're a business?
Like for me?
I mean, you really don't. Like if I were to sign up right now, how do you know if I just want to save reviews or save listings?
Right.
So I mean, in general, we don't know what they are yet. Maybe they're just signing in so they can see the message boxes, or maybe they're signing in so they can click save on some of these reviews and view them later. A little save button here, right?
Right.
So it's really hard to tell. Now, yes and no. So to answer your question, can you force your roles into something else? You could force that role, like anybody can register, the page I just showed you, and you could force that role into something different, but you don't want to use contributor, you don't want to use author, you dang sure don't want to use admin.
Right.
But with a user role plugin, I mean, I could force them into something like viewer, right? So everybody is a viewer, but now what this is going to do, ListingPro is going to make them a subscriber, right? I mean, with a user role Redditor, I could change, not that I don't need to change that wording. I know that a subscriber is a business, but just changing the basic, like if anybody just registered, no, they're free user or a viewer. Now, the thing is, I don't think I need that. And maybe you're using it for a different reason, but like if I were to go to listings or go to users, I can actually see how many listings an owner has here in my email database. So I know Timothy at Overnight Coder, he has 12. X33, which even though it's my regular email, he's a subscriber and he has 0 listings. So I know that this guy just signed up for the fun of it, right? And this is actually my email, but so I can visually see it, but I guess if you wanted a name, free versus business owner. Now, how do you redirect somebody there? I necessarily wouldn't want to do that. Again, there's going to be ways like after sign in, can you redirect somebody? I know that there's been plenty of tutorials on this in the Facebook groups, and I'll find the link for you. That after you sign in, it automatically takes you to, you know, a specific page.
Okay.
And I think a guy named Martin or one of our guys built that. But I wouldn't necessarily do that, because I do have two types of users. I have a business owner, and I have the viewer, somebody who wants to save listings for later, save a plumber, septic, you know, and pick their perfect match. With that being said, the dashboard is also defined too, but the dashboard is defined on who has a listing versus who doesn't have a listing. So if you have a listing on the dashboard, it kind of works too. Take a look at this one, just in case you probably already seen it. But on this dashboard, I have a listing. So I, of course, have things like menus, coupons, events, announcements, invoices, ad campaigns. If you don't have a listing, then you have things like inbox, saved, and reviews. So the system kind of bases it not on user role, but like more on, if you own a listing, you get to see more stuff. If you don't own a listing, you get to see the stuff that you would see as a viewer. So defining, I mean, depending on how you want to approach exactly what you want to do, there's definitely a way to do it, you know, whether it's third party. And ListingPro is not going to support, you know, third party user role plugin, but I've used several of them. And I pick lightweight plugins, you know, user role editor. It comes with nothing else but switching user roles. I don't care about payment plans. I don't want to do anything there. I just need the user role editor part. And again, I know that works with ListingPro. I actually did. There's other ones too, if you want to go even more in depth. Like I did a membership plan where you couldn't see reviews unless you were a member, and we used the membership role plugin. You paid $5 if you wanted to see all these company reviews. And of course, it was for one of those cheesy massage places. We all know what I'm talking about. I won't get in depth. So you wanted to see the reviews, you're paying $5. This is going on YouTube too, so we're going to keep it really cool. But yeah, any more direct questions with that, or any other questions while I'm still on your site? Definitely fix loading.
No, that's it, man.
I love your logo, your icon. I love that.
Right. No, you've been a big help, and I'm going to send you my my information offline, and then we can talk more. Yeah. The last thing I want to do is log in your Cloudways together. Matter of fact, we do these Zoom meetings. I say we just look at it together. You know, we look at it together and kind of go through. But now that we've kind of fully went over what was going on, this has got to be on the hosting side if all your other sites are slow. So let's just try moving it a couple places. Let's try doing a couple things and seeing what's going on. A lot of stuff in the chat.
Tim, I just want to give Nick quick feedback on his homepage. The buttons that shows up right below the search box. I think the text, I guess, I don't know if we can increase the padding to those boxes. Or try different styles. We got a few different styles, by the way, so you might be able to just use a few different styles that will fit, because you don't want text. I mean, the general rule, wherever there's text, you want to leave some breathing room around that text or icons or images. This is for everybody, so this will help. Other than that, I mean, yeah, that's a tiny bit like.
I'll show you a fun one too, Nick. So while he's talking about it, because yes, you don't have to do, well, I guess you are saying commercial or residential, right? So you could limit those down to just commercial, just residential, or residential services, whatever the case may be. Here's a fun one I like to do. I was thinking about just creating it for you guys, but instead of, I'll save some time. Let's go to my Facebook. I'll show you an idea that I built out with Elementor. We're just gonna look at a picture. I literally was gonna build it in Elementor for you guys to see, but I know I have a picture right here. I actually like to build out just in Elementor a white box, right, with a border radius of something. I put an icon, my text, maybe even a button in there, but you don't have to, and just build the whole thing out with Elementor. I give it some box shadow, and doing it with yours, I mean, it would be super easy because all you have. Well, I got off the page. All you have is two, so it's a. Let me just show you the breakdown, because it's going to be much easier. Give you guys a little bit of tutorialing. It doesn't take long to do anything like this. So instead, I removed those categories because, again, I like functionality. I like to be able to do my own thing, whatever I want. To check this out, I'm only going to spend maybe 20 seconds. So I add two columns, bam, I have them like this. Well, I definitely don't want them that big, so I'm going to edit the section and just go with a box section that's something like this big. You can kind of see my 2 columns here. I'm going to put a spacer in those just so you guys can see the spacer. I'm going to call like 150. This is just for a design aspect. I'm going to do 2 more things and then we're out of here. So I'm going to edit the column. The column needs to have a border, box shadow, so I can actually see it. I'm going to go in and give it a margin of 7. Perfect. Now I didn't do the border radius. I didn't throw anything inside, but watch this. I am going to duplicate this column. I'm going to delete this column, and this is all recorded, so don't worry. In 20 seconds, you now have 2 sections, right? Let me click out of those 2 sections. Of course, I put some border radius on it. I would have thrown an icon in there. I would have thrown some text in there. And then when I'm done, I drag it halfway up through the banner. So you're not going to be able to see that, because of what's sitting here already. I didn't remove the categories, but check this out. It's just a negative margin to drag it up all the way. Of course, again, I'd have to remove these categories, but I drag it up so it's halfway through the margin. And again, that's what you've seen here. Really cool idea if you guys want to create your own. I like to get on there, and I use Dribble a lot. If you guys aren't already, this isn't a shout out to Dribble. But I'll get some good, because, my style is all the same. I do the same style all the time. And it's just my preference of style. So I get on Dribble. I find a website that has bits and pieces that I like. And then I try to duplicate them, and I have no problem duplicating them. And, I'm not stealing the content, but it's great for ideals. It's great for call outs, great for layouts, things that you normally would have never thought about, like pulling something in through the banner or doing circles and Dribble helps me out a lot with just just design ideas that I get in my head, and I can duplicate anything I see on here. So hopefully that'll help you. So if you don't want to just rename them, you can easily build something like that with your 2 columns.
Nice, thank you.
Or even better, right? Add another column and then stretch out the section so it doesn't look so silly. And again, this will be recorded, so 20 seconds, 30 seconds to create something crazy. But yeah, hey Millie, thanks for joining us. Feedback.
Yeah, Millie was actually dropping in. I was gonna review her website, give her quick feedback on her landing page. So she stayed back. So if Tim, you can pull up her website again, or if you already have that open. Cloud.
There it is.
Yeah. I guess pretty. I mean, if you scroll down, Tim, you might also want to talk
feedback
about.
Wise, I don't want to say anything until she said that, but this text is way too small. I got 20/20 vision, and I'm on a 5K resolution screen. But I know some people don't have that. This text right here is way too small.
Okay. Yeah, that box right there. Hold on. The images and the text and everything is a lot going on, and it's right aligned, and there's no proper placement. It's all over the place, so that could definitely improve. This whole section can improve.
I definitely agree. Sam's right. This one right aligned. This is centered on this, and this is centered on the page. So again, when you're looking at something like this, how should, it doesn't matter if you center, left align, right align, but you want to keep everything like this one here. Might be best just to center everything, right? Center this, center that. Maybe it's on white text, but again, the blue button. You do use blue around your site, so stick with it.
Yeah.
There's a trick for the white text. I'll share the code with you in chat.
Yeah, you wanna use always use contrast, especially when there's a call to action pretty much everywhere. But right now you see the light blue with light gray is not the best way to create a button. So definitely, even if you just make it a little darker or darker background and lighter text, that will help. And another general rule, when you have an image and you're trying to have a layer text, you want to add some sort of darker overlay on top of the image, or just create an image with a darker overlay, because it would be easier to read, better legibility. So right now it's, I guess it's not really helping.
I'll give you some examples. Florida now. Welcome, guys. I'll get to the chat in 2 seconds. Florida too. So here's a perfect example of. So first off, in chat, to change this text, I know it's gray by standard default. Without changing your paragraph text, I just gave you the code that you replace the whole read more button with. So read more and join now you replace with the whole code, which will change it into white. Style, whoops, you know what? That's the wrong code. We're gonna go style equals, so sorry. Style equals, sorry, it was one off. So instead of just putting the letters read more, paste in that whole code and that will change whatever text you want read more, it'll change it to white, right? So if you want that to join now, the code that I just posted in chat will help you out with all those buttons. With that being said, wait, that's not the right one either. Why am I rushing through that? Style equals, I am so sorry. I'm gonna verify it one time. Here it is. I don't know if my computer was doing that or someone was trying to put in something. The last one, I apologize. With that being said, what Tim's saying is take a look, and it's taken me a while to get that, right? Like the opacity and how dark should you do something. Take a look at the top of this site. So the top of this site, it had a regular white or a regular image, right? And it has this image where this gentleman is holding a flower and he's got a white t-shirt. So you wouldn't see white text anywhere. You also wouldn't have been able to see black text because over the flower or over the tomato plant, you would see, it would be too dark to go on top of there. So the background of using a gradient. Now, first off, the picture was actually lighter than this. There's a light blue gradient over the whole image, light blue with very little opacity. And then over the text or behind the text, I actually have just the dark black opacity. And I think I have, here's another call to action here. This is one that I just created with Elementor. Same thing. I have a darker image, but I lightened it up with a light opacity over it. And then through a dark opacity blue, same blue. Be careful with, and again, it took me a little time to play around with those, right? And figure out the right setup that I wanted to kind of use on this specific site. And it's something to play around with, something to have fun with. Again, like Sam said, you have to choose if you're using white or dark lettering. If you have to use these photos, which being honest, these like I like that this looks like it's almost a collage, but it's not. I can see hands coming down here, and I love the people's faces. That would be great if I just used that whole photo. The hands here aren't really offering me enough information to see anything but a watch, right? And maybe it looks like two gentlemen or two holding. So I'd probably just get a full image, but not with too much going on. And maybe use the white text that you have here. I blow it up a little bit center, and this button would look great centered. If you wanted a comment or something, maybe on the next slide, who knows? And then this one, same thing. You can read this text, but you're gonna have a heck of a time reading this text if you didn't do that opacity box. So again, have fun with it. And again, this is one where you could look at other designs and see what you like on the internet, and then be like, okay, I really like that idea of opacity and how they utilize that. Once you master that, it just gets fun from there. What else do we have? There's some things in the chat, and I'm sure Sam might jump back over that.
Hey, sorry guys. Yeah, sorry Tim, I forgot to mute. Yeah, go down. There's something else I noticed earlier. Yeah, and in that box, there's a lot of text. By the way, you want to reduce the text, and people don't. I mean, it's hard to read, and small and a lot. So yeah, scroll down. Then these boxes, recent activities. I think they're touching on either sides. You want to add some space, right? You want to add some space on both sides. Yeah. So you want to leave some room. Yeah, I think there are different styles. You want to try some different styles for recent activity widget. So yeah, that's probably not the best one unless you can figure out adding some padding around it or margin, whatever. Go down. Yeah, I mean, this is I think this is also an activity widget, but if you want to use that, make sure that you have few things, not just one item. Doesn't look good. Just one thing sitting there. So try to add few more reviews, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, yeah, I guess we can review it again if you are going to come next week. If you can fix these issues, then we can further review other pages as well.
I agree. I also think that the blue should stay consistent. That's just me as a developer. I like your logo a lot. This blue, even though you're consistently using it around the site, just doesn't have anything to do with the other blue. So I mean, that's just my personal preference. You don't have to go with that. I just keep real consistent. You'll notice I use the same colors for my logo around the site. Sometimes I'll throw in that one off, but I think this would look really good with the same blue.
Yeah, Tim, I agree with you. I agree with you, and I also want to add that this blue is, I think, the default ListingPro blue. So people are, I mean, this is part of the classic demo. There are like thousands of websites probably using the same blue, so you want to avoid using the default blue. Yeah.
I'm a really big stickler on colors. Like I get a set of colors and I just like stick with it. I don't know. It just makes my sites look great. You know, I found this. Oh, and here's another one. So I know for anybody else listening, I'm not talking to you because you've already got your colors, but I just look at website color palettes, right? And if I'm doing a client that is in construction, I'll even add the word construction in there and find different color palettes for that specific niche that I'm looking at, you know, or Africa or Australia. And now all of a sudden it's coming up with greens and yellows. This is actually the one I just picked for a client. He's doing a traveler website in Australia. And I love these colors, but I never use them. So it's like I'm having a lot of fun just utilizing just the same color palette that somebody else has created for an idea for websites. And you can utilize them in any way you want. You know, you're not stealing a website idea. You're just grabbing a palette.
Yeah, I dropped a link to a website I usually go to when I'm picking a palette, colorlovers.com. Probably familiar with that. There's a few others. I'm sure there are dozens of them. Yeah, there's another.
Oh, yeah. It just does different color palettes. Is this already picked for you? Does it have any features and stuff? Like check this one out. So my favorite is Color.io, right? And from here, I put in my colors, and then if I were to scroll down, I can actually, and it gives me a lot of information like light shades, light account, brand color, and I can actually see it in use right here. You know, so it's like if I want to see dark on white, let me just show you another one so you'll believe it. Let's go to a better looking one. Bam. I'll scroll down. It'll show me that how I can utilize them. You know, light blue on dark blue on text, light white on dark blue, and utilize it. Does your site do that as well? Something like that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It just gives you palettes and stuff. So the site you just recommended looks pretty nice, and I shared those links in the chat. So I guess whatever works for.
Yeah, yours is for picking color palettes, so I like that. This one does not pick your color palette, right? This one
okay.
is, hey, I want to generate some colors. I just want to try some things, or it's you have to manually go in and put your colors in. Another thing you can do with this one is upload an image, and it'll pull the colors out of that. But it was just really fun because, you know, if I know my colors and I kind of want to see, you know, like I put that color palette in there and then I like came down here, I'm like, okay, wait, I really like the idea of that. Like, so it gave me a really good offset of what colors I should use next to what as a designer.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, we also offer a few different skins for ListingPro. People might not be aware that there are only 3 that is included in ListingPro, but there are a few new ones for wedding, for pets, and even for lawyers, and yeah, so we also have for Black entrepreneurs as well a dedicated design, so you guys can check it out. Yeah, I shared the link to our add-ons page here.
Am I doing something wrong? This is not the right page. What is that? The ListingPro add-ons, awesome selection. And there was a question from Erdal.
Tim, you were also offering some add-ons or design skins. Are you still offering that? You can share the link in the comments. Yeah,
I'm not offering those.
I mean, okay. I don't know. I thought you did, but if you do, if you still do, Yeah, I mean, it's always best to have as many options available, whether it's from us or for anybody else who's offering, so people can choose. It's all about helping.
I think what I was doing is I was selling the templates that I had created, but I removed a bunch of them. Like they were pre-made things for Elementor only, because I don't use WP Bakery at all. And what it was is how you can get a homepage just like this. So it came with the import file. Again, I don't recommend buying these, guys. I just showed you how to create columns and things like that. But it was like, you know, could I sell a homepage for $19.99 template wise? And everybody's like, oh, you should come out with these templates. You should come out with these templates. What about the advertising and sponsorship page? A lot of people asked me to build this out, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, it's cool, but I just wasn't getting enough of the traction that I wanted to see for templates versus building their whole web design and charging them out, because this was a hell of a deal, $19 compared to my $50 hourly rate. It'd probably take me an hour to craft out the homepage. I would charge them $50. But from there, you know, I'm getting massive amounts of web clients for ListingPro and directory designs. It was just like, why sell the templates? So I think these are still hanging around on the site. But you know, I wouldn't even buy this 2-hour video. I just showed you guys. I unlocked that on my channel for free, and I had a bunch of people buy this. It was the how to create a ListingPro site in 2 hours. But at some point, I was just like, man, I'll just give this away. Like, let's just give somebody an incentive to join. So yeah, for me, it's not. These aren't huge for me, but thank you.
I think we have a question about optimization from Erdo.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can pull up a site without getting booted off YouTube. So I'm going to pull it up in a new window. Florida dancer. Okay, it's legit.
Hey, Tim, I'm sorry, I might have to drop, but you can continue. I'll just mute myself and I'll drop. And just yeah, we'll talk later. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. Bye.
Yeah, man, I'm hanging around with. I'd like to connect with you if possible. I'm hanging around for a little bit of time. I know we're over the 90 minutes, but I'll be here for at least a few more minutes to answer anybody's questions. And I connect with everybody, so whatever you guys need, I'm here. Let's take a look at the site real quick. Let me get caught up on your question. You're joining from Florida. I'm from Florida as well, a Central Florida area, close to Orlando, but right closer to Cocoa Beach, so about 30 minutes from Orlando. Speed optimization. So speed optimizations, let's run yours too, because this is not, oh, there it is, mobile, desktop. Let me just look at these real quick. So we're working on somebody else's speed, probably off chat, because it's a bigger issue than just ListingPro. And then for your site, let's plug that into GT metrics and just see what you're running. It'll give us a real quick look at what you need to work on. Oops. Metric. All right, you know what? I don't know what is up in the GT metrics. My finger typing in is off today. All right, I'm going to pull this up and let's analyze this while I finish. What do you guys recommend for speed optimizations? And then Sam posted a bunch of those wonderful links: Colorline OI, flat colors, flat UI colors. ListingPro, I like to connect with you. Erdal, you can definitely connect with me all the time. My name is the Overnight Coder in either one of the Facebook groups or my website or my email or my YouTube channel. Once you connect, I'll pass you some information. I think I even put my email up in the chat, but I hate to do that because this goes out to thousands of people on YouTube. I got bombarded last week. It was a good thing, but I got super bombarded. So you haven't asked for any help. You're just asking for speed optimizations. Look like GT metrics is pulled up, and the first one is a big one. So you don't have to be a genius to read this. Your scores actually aren't that bad. It's probably due to you not having really a lot of content on your page, and having some of the default content you probably don't have. It doesn't look like it from just the appearance any more than one additional plugin. Of course, you might have more. I'm just seeing the open toolbar, and I don't really see any other additions. Again, there might be some in here, don't get me wrong. With that being said, when I look at this and I'm looking at some of the big things like 6.6 seconds to load, then let's fully load. It didn't take me that long when I was looking at it, but technically the algorithms are saying 6 seconds. So the first thing I would probably do is optimize that banner image. If you're not familiar with off-writing or optimizing images, plugins can do this, but if I'm the developer and I'm not worried about like listings, I'll just find an image optimization tool online for free that I don't have to log into, Normally I Google it, right? Image optimization tool free. And I'll pick the first one, right? So something good like online image compressor. I'll throw my banner in here once, compress it. I might do it again, press it again, and just make sure that the quality is good. You want to do that with all your homepage images because you're the web developer. You're the only one throwing images on your homepage, static images anyway. You can control those. Now, what about listing images? Listing images, you're going to want to plug in for that. When somebody submits a listing, you need to be able to optimize those images as well. There's a list of plugins that I can just tell you are really good. Some people are using Image Optimizer with EWWW. You can Google it. Some people are using Jetpack. I'm not a fan of Jetpack. I'll pull up the reason why on I use Imagify for mine. Imagify starts off free, and then I think it's $4.99 or $9-something a month. I didn't start with that. I didn't pay for that plugin until my site was making money, because I'm not that guy. I'm going to go out and buy 50 paid plugins and lose money. So as soon as I was making money, that's when I grabbed that plugin and decided to pay for a plugin monthly on my site. With that being said, to optimize those images, the reason I say I don't like some of them, if you just install a plugin and you don't ever know anything about the theme settings, or you don't, you're going to have a hell of a time. So here is an example. Jetpack, I just ran into a client. I was moving her site. I couldn't figure out why her site with 60-something listings was so big. Well, inside those 60 listings, she had 10 photos, but every time she uploaded a photo, because she didn't optimize anything in the settings, Jetpack was making 31 copies of those images. So each listing actually had 300 images that had to be moved. And then I times that by, and that's why her site was blowing up. I don't like that, right? So what image sizes do you need? And there's no set with ListingPro. ListingPro does have documentation and gives you set image sizes that you use around your site. But what do you actually need for listings, right? So first off, this is a 372 by 240. If you didn't know that, you could inspect it. I think it is. I go to computed, 372 by 240, right? So you definitely need that one if it's being displayed on your homepage. But so more than likely, yes, you want to add that for users to upload. What about your archive pages? Your specific archive page, not everybody's archive page, are 372 by 240 as well. But some people don't have that, right? Some people have this layout where it's different. Now, of course, you still need the 372 by 240. But yes, you might also want to add, if you're really using this grid list switcher, you might also want to add something around 252 by 162 and make sure that now you've got 2 saved copies of your image. And there's actually more, right? There's app view. What size image do you need there? What size, maybe for app view, I'll maybe just use this image if I don't want to optimize it that great. But checkout page is a once in a lifetime thing. See, I'm not going to pick that image size for my checkout page because you only see it one time when you're checking out. Nobody else sees it. So I'm not going to save a whole nother image copy. So make sure the whole point of this is, short pixel image optimizer. That short pixel I've heard of is good. But all in all, just make sure you're setting that up so it's not saving 30 to 40 copies of your image. I mean, that's the worst thing ever. Oh, matter of fact, whatever other images, when you go inside a listing, there's another set of images, right? You've got your gallery across the top. Well, if you're using this big one at the top, these are, this right click and spec, 542 and some change and 354. But if you're not using this layout, you have to figure out on your own layout what sizes you're going to need. And again, most of those plugins allow you to optimize things and see what's going on. So back to your performance score, biggest one, you don't have to be a genius to read these, guys. I happen to be a web designer, but you don't have to be that. Reduce initial server response time. If you click on it and learn how to improve this, I'm not going to go over everything, but watch, I'm not a genius. The server, server response times, server-side caching, CPU and memory resources. You don't have to be a genius to know you need a better server. I mean, that's all this whole page is talking about is server stuff. So get on a better server, right? C isn't bad, but again, if you can upgrade there's some plans that I still wouldn't even upgrade. I'm not going to pay $99 for a VPS if I can do it on Cloudway for $10. But that is the biggest. When I see that, almost 90% of the time, it's well, where are we at? It's you need a better server. It's time to upgrade. It's time to change hostings, do whatever you need to do. Use a CDN. So if your two biggest problems are these two, you're in good shape, because this one you can change by upgrading or moving servers. And this one, this is a free one too. Use the CDN. I'll give you a quick tip. I'm not going to tell you the full method of doing this because nobody wants to hear all this, but Cloudflare. Cloudflare offers, it's not a paid service. This isn't Cloudway's hosting. This is Cloudflare, right? Cloudflare offers free CDN. You go here, you sign up, you go to the pricing. No, sorry. Once you sign up, there's a free plan. You go to the free, $0 a month. You add your website. What's going to happen is it is going to ask you to point your name servers from wherever they're at, GoDaddy, Bluehost, point them to something on Cloudflare. It'd be like Gina, NS1, Gina, NS2, Victor, whatever the cloud. All of a sudden, let it propagate. You have CDN. I mean, it's going to take you through a couple more steps, but it'll literally walk you through them. You have to verify everything's correct so you don't lose emails and things like that. But it's just that easy. So that is your two biggest issues: is Cloudflare and the server. You're in good shape. You're in really good shape. And then also, once I'm there, I start breaking it down even more, right? Performance-wise, matter of fact, structure-wise, and waterfall. Structure will give me everything. Anything I can fix on here. If you don't know how to fix it, again, I don't know all these, but like I do know that I can click on these, go to learn how to improve, and simply read. Right? I can read all of this. Some of this is going to be foreign to me. Some of it will not be foreign. Some of them will say, hey, grab a plugin, do this, change your cache time. Another fun one is, let me see. Is your waterfall. Waterfall tells like highest loading things. You can come in here and just see which images are high loading and then fix those, right? So I just went to images from your waterfall. You start with the Florida dancer, this image right here, fix that, right? Compress that, make sure you're Fort Lauderdale City. Oh, all those cities on the homepage, compress those, right? Where was I? I gotta pull it up again. Give me just a sec. Florida dancers. But yeah, everything on, just make sure you're optimized image wise. WP Rocket. WP Rocket's a funny one. So these images definitely aren't optimized. You probably got them full size somewhere. Didn't make them that size. I'm just guessing now. But yeah, I would definitely, if you don't need it that big anywhere else, just make them this big. Make them exactly the size that you're going to be using. WP Rocket was a good one for me for a while. I paid the $49.99. Again, I'm not the plugin guy. I don't like getting plugins, but I did try that one. And for my ListingPro directory, I was still running bad algorithm scores, but visually, I had one of the fastest ListingPro sites I had seen. Like, I mean, mobile snap, my desktop snap, everything in it snap, like literally was loaded. So I did like Cloudflare, or I'm sorry, I did like WP Rocket. The only and the biggest issue with WP Rocket was I literally had to test everything, and not only test it, like I would turn on 3 options, and then I'd refresh the page, run it through an algorithm, and everything looked good. And then maybe I left, right? And I'd leave the house or go to sleep. I wake up the next morning, and I was running a B last night. And I wake up, and the next morning it would be a D. And I'm like, you got a really clear cache. You got to go through each individual setting and make sure it's set up properly. One wrong setting in WP Rocket, your whole site's down, guaranteed. So just make sure you have a backup and minimize, do what you can, and just test each individual piece that you think you need and refresh. Just make sure that it's working. But WP Rocket did have the best results on my ListingPro theme. Any other questions, guys? I know we're a little bit past the time. I got Fred, who is probably just listening in. Thank you, Fred. We got Erdal and Millie. Do you guys have any other questions before we take off? Do I recommend? Am I missing anything? Fruitful session. Mirage took off.
Tim, I got a quick one here. That plumbing site's running double Redux plugin.
All right.
That could be an issue when you're looking at the speed for that plumbing site. Yeah, I just did a quick WordPress check. the trouble with pulling over from SiteGround or anybody else is there's SiteGround, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I know Bluehost does it. They have these hidden plugins. So you have to actually go in with cPanel and go and rip out any hidden plugins that were put in there on the back end. And sometimes when it pulls over a plugin like Redux, it could be SiteGround's version. So you're actually pulling in two of the same. So you might have, so that would be the first place to look at, would be the plugins. The other thing is it's not switching from HTTP to HTTPS. So that needs to be looked at as well. But other than that, yeah, that would be where I'd start looking at some of those plugins.
Where did you see the HTTPS in the code?
Yeah, I just did a WordPress plugin check. It wasn't in the code. I got a little WordPress checker to check what plugins and themes are loaded, and it showed Redux as being there twice.
Interesting. Here's an HTTP error.
Yeah, and when you pull things over from SiteGround, also you could run into that HTTPS problem. So you want to go through the site, make sure that all your URLs are set up correctly. But that could cause problems.
This side is not doing what I want. Awesome. So clean it up, right? Clean, Erdal, if you clean that up, make sure that, I find a lot of it is in what WP config. I noticed that a lot of hostings, like I just moved somebody to Cloudways, and when I moved them, I couldn't update any plugins. And I go to check the WP config file, and of course there is something with their hosting name right there in the notes. I'm just like, okay, it's super odd. So many weird things we'll find in there. Site Checker Pro. Good information. Maybe double check that, clean it up. What else?
Yeah, that's the big thing with SiteGround that I found was their plugin is there, even though you're over in Cloudways. If you go check your plugins, SiteGround may be there, and if it's not, go check the hidden plugin section, and you might find it in there. Then you just got to tear it out.
Who else does that? Cloudways does that with Breeze, I think. Breeze is actually, God, I know that they give you the plugin, but then like it's also catching it somewhere else.
Yeah, Bluehost is bad for that too. You got to go and tear it out manually.
Obviously, these sites are not working. Any recommendations for automating adding new business to our directories? Yeah, I've got a great automation tool for adding. You can add as many businesses as you want and as often as you want. It's called a virtual assistant. So you hire a virtual assistant and you have them insert things into your directory. I don't have a way to automate that. I've heard that there was a plugin that could automate, but I'm not, again, I've never tried that. I do the import. So, one time, two times, I'll just import listings off of CSV with WP all import, and I do it that way. I don't have anything that automates something or scans what you want. I was just kidding about the VA too. Nobody contact me about a virtual assistant plugin. It doesn't work like that. Any final questions while we're here? Otherwise, I am taking off. My kids are ready to go rock climbing, I'm sure. We are indoor rock climbing. Should be fun. Actually, we're sharpening pencils, and we're not going to do that right now. Get out of here. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks, Fred, for the general extra information. That was awesome. Erdal, feel free to reach out. We've already explained 2 or 3 different. Oh, if you didn't see ListingPro groups on Facebook, you can always reach us there. I'll just show you again if you came in. I know there was a couple people that came in late. ListingPro team is my personal group, and then Sam's group, it has 3 times the members, is the ListingPro user group with, like I said, over 3,500 members. Good place to get questions and answers. People help out all the time, and there's a bunch of people to help you out. as well as I follow those forums religiously, and or those groups religiously, and definitely all the time, man. I'm helping out. If I see you in there, we'll give you some feedback, or you can reach out direct. I think you have some of my contact information. If not, yeah, you definitely reach out direct. But thanks for your time. I think that is it, guys. Thanks for coming, Fred, even though you're late. Bye.
I'll just get up earlier next time.